Every week, new movies appear on the screens, but it's not easy to find the worthwhile ones. In this issue, I have collected the latest projects, which are already available in good quality and deserve attention. Last Breath. Based on real events, the thriller takes the viewer to the depths of the North Sea in 2012. A team of professional divers, led by experienced specialist Duncan Olcak, goes on a dangerous expedition to repair an underwater pipeline. Among them is Chris Lemons, a young diver, participating in such an operation for the first time. At first, everything goes according to plan, despite an unfavorable weather forecast. But suddenly a storm arrives that quickly turns the mission into a fight for survival. Huge waves and gusty winds rock the ship, and in the midst of the storm, tragedy strikes. The cable connecting Chris to the ship breaks. He finds himself at a depth of 100 meters, with a limited supply of oxygen and no communication with the surface. The crew has to make a morally difficult choice: risk the lives of the others to save one, or give up the attempt and hope for a miracle. The movie is gripping with realism, tension, and a sense of hopelessness. It raises an important question: where is the boundary between professional duty and self-preservation? This is not just survival, but a test of humanity in extreme conditions.
Working!
You can do this, buddy.
I'm with you.
Incoming swell. Brace for impact. Now!
Havoc. Director Garrett Evans presents a tense action thriller with Tom Hardy in the title role. The plot takes us into the gloomy atmosphere of a large American city, where the police have long been intertwined with the underworld. Detective Walker is one of the few who try to preserve principles in this system, but during a raid, things get out of hand. One of the suspects is killed, and the situation becomes political. Walker is under pressure from both sides. Management demands to close the case and keep quiet, threatening to destroy his career. At the same time, criminal circles consider him guilty and promise revenge. The detective begins his own investigation, suspecting that he has become part of an elaborate scheme. He uncovers facts that indicate collusion between officials, police officers, and criminal authorities. Evidence disappears, allies are turned away, and his personal life is threatened. Alone, he confronts a system where every step could be his last. The movie captures the dynamics, the inner conflict of the hero, and the general atmosphere of hopelessness. Walker is not a superhero, but a man who is forced to choose between duty, fear, and personal truth.
That's a fucking washing machine.
The Electric State. The Russo brothers return with a massive sci-fi project set in an alternate America of the 90s. In this reality, the machine rebellion has been crushed, but the world is forever changed. Society lives in fear, and technology controls everything from cities to people. The main character is Michelle, played by Millie Bobby Brown. She lost her family in the chaos of the past, but suddenly receives a signal, supposedly from her younger brother, whom she thought was dead. The message comes via an old robot toy and leads her to the Electric State, a forbidden zone where the wreckage of rebel machines still functions. Michelle sets out on a journey to discover the truth. On her path are ruined cities, abandoned drones, and survivors who tell of secret experiments. She is accompanied by smuggler Keats, Chris Pratt, who is hiding his motives, and a robot named Cosmo, who seems to know more than he's saying. The movie combines elements of the post-apocalypse, personal drama, and philosophical questions, what it means to be human, and how much to give up for family. It's not just a spectacle, but an emotional journey into the heart of a shattered world, full of hidden threats and unexpected allies. A Working Man. This is a dynamic action movie with elements of criminal thriller, directed by David Ayer, director of Fury and Suicide Squad. The main character is Jack Crow, a former Special Forces officer who is trying to start a new life, working on a construction site in Los Angeles. His world falls apart when the daughter of the owner of the construction company and her friend disappear after a party. The girls are kidnapped by a group connected to international traffic. The police are slow to act. Corruption gets involved. Jack, unable to stay on the sidelines, takes the initiative. Using skills from his past and connections in the criminal underground, he begins his own investigation. Streets, clubs, warehouses, he traverses every level of the city's underground in search of traces. With each step, it becomes clear, the kidnapping, part of a large-scale scheme, which involves not only criminals, but also representatives of the authorities. On Jack's path are mercenaries who need to cover their tracks, and a corrupt police officer who is ready to stop him at any cost. The denouement is approaching. Time is running out, and Jack must find the warehouse. The movie holds tension until the last frame and raises questions of choice.
That's for slapping that woman.
That woman was my wife. That's for slapping your wife. Who are you? What are you?
A Minecraft movie. The movie Minecraft is an adventure comedy with fantasy elements, based on the cult video game. The plot is aimed at a young audience, but adults will also find something to appreciate, especially if they are familiar with the game world. At the center of the story are 4 teenagers, each facing personal challenges ranging from family problems to lack of money. Their lives change when they find themselves in a mysterious store and pass through a portal leading to a cubic world. Once in the world of Minecraft, they quickly lose their way back. The portal is destroyed, and threats are thickening around them. In this world, they meet Steve, a master crafter, who explains that the way home is through finding rare artifacts. Together, they embark on a journey through the biomes, encountering zombies, pigglies, and other dangers. They will have to learn how to survive, craft, build shelters, and work as a team. Behind the external simplicity of the plot hides a deep conflict. The threat is looming not only on them, but on the entire virtual world. An old legend about a magical artifact, the sphere of domination, is awakened again. This is a movie about friendship, imagination, and inner strength. Light in tone, yet rich in events and references, it doesn't just entertain, it inspires.
Now it's dark.
Does that feel quick to anyone else?
Mountainhead, a satirical thriller directed by Jersey Armstrong, formerly known as the showrunner of The Heirs. Set in a remote, high-tech, clifftop estate, 4 powerful entrepreneurs come here to discuss a plan to seize global control through technology and influence public consciousness. The meeting is initially planned as an intellectual collaboration, but soon turns into an arena for psychological games and covert attacks. Each participant tries to manipulate the others by revealing their weaknesses. Dialogues are full of sarcasm, hidden threats, and philosophical reflections on the future of humanity. Gradually, the illusion of control crumbles. Isolation, paranoia, and growing hostility lead to a split within the group. The technologies they plan to use against others now turn against themselves. The movie resembles a chamber production with elements of political thriller and social criticism. It poses poignant questions. Where is the line between progress and manipulation? What will happen if power falls into the hands of those who consider themselves above morality?
This is a terrifying experience, and I don't know that I'll ever recover.
Fountain of Youth, an adventure movie in the style of the Guy Ritchie classic. The plot centers on Luke Perdue, an archaeologist of dubious reputation who steals an ancient painting from a crime syndicate in Thailand. Pursued by the mercenary Esme, he returns to London and asks his sister Charlotte, a museum curator, to join the search for a legendary artifact that grants immortality. The path to the source is hidden in the masterpieces of great artists, from Rembrandt to Caravaggio. Funded by a dying billionaire, Luke's team must decipher the clues hidden in paintings and prints. Their mission leads through museums, catacombs, and ancient ruins. At each stage, the heroes encounter traps, pursuit, and a secret organization seeking to preserve the mystery of the artifact. A parallel relationship develops between Luke and Charlotte, whose views on life and goals constantly clash. The film skillfully combines action, mysticism, family drama, and elements of an intellectual quest. The adventurous atmosphere is reminiscent of the classics of the genre, but with a modern approach to pace and visual style.
So you really think you're gonna find a magic pool of water?
But I think you want to find out.
Locked, a crime thriller with a deep psychological subtext, produced by Sam Raimi. The plot centers on Eddie Barish, a thief from a poor Los Angeles neighborhood who finds himself in debt and in a desperate situation. He decides on another crime, the theft of an expensive car, but he does not know that he falls into a trap, masterfully prepared by the owner of the car, an elderly Dr. William, who has experienced a personal tragedy. This car is not just a means of transportation. It is equipped with armored windows, electronic locks, and voice control. When Eddie is inside, the doors are locked. A psychological game begins. William, through the speakers, either scares or promises help, conducting a series of moral tests over the captive. All this unfolds in the center of the metropolis, but because of the complete soundproofing, Eddie's screams go unheard. With each passing minute, the tension builds. Gradually, it becomes clear that William's revenge is much more complicated than it seemed at first, and Eddie may be only part of a much larger scheme. The roles are played by Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård, and this makes the drama particularly powerful.
Hello, Eddie. You're in my car.
Until Dawn, a fresh thriller with elements of horror inspired by a popular video game, but with a completely original story. The main character is Clover, who after the disappearance of her sister Melanie goes with her friends to a secluded place where the last message was received. They find an abandoned house in which they decide to take shelter from the weather. But as night falls, everything changes. They are attacked by an unknown masked killer. However, the tragedy does not end there. After the death, the group wakes up again in the house as if nothing had happened. They find themselves in a time loop. Each loop repeats the nightmare anew, but with minor changes, new clues, oddities in the behavior of the maniac, and hints of Melanie's presence. The friends lose their composure, suspicion grows between them. Clover realizes the only way to save herself is to learn the rules of the noose and solve the mystery. The forest house becomes an arena of recurring themes, where the tension does not meet the charm, and the atmosphere is enhanced by the gloomy sound design and visual details. The story unfolds as a personal drama wrapped in fright and mysticism. Exterritorial, sharp action movie with dramatic depth. The main character, Sarah, a former Special Forces fighter, arrives at the American consulate in Frankfurt to finalize the documents for departure with her son to the United States. But everything changes when the boy disappears without a trace just inside the building. The staff claims he wasn't there at all. Staff members avoid direct answers. CCTV cameras capture nothing suspicious. Sarah faces cold indifference and accusations of being unstable. However, she is certain her son has been kidnapped. Left alone, she begins her own investigation, evading guards, bypassing security systems, and eavesdropping on conversations. The inconsistencies she uncovers hint at a shadowy structure within the consulate. Locked doors, deleted recordings, and strange staff behavior all point to a coordinated operation. Sarah will have to overcome not only external obstacles, but also doubts, because she is haunted by a past full of trauma. If you have something to add to today's selection, share your findings in the comments. And to not miss the next episodes, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.